Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, I'm Isma Hartini, and today I will present some material in multimodal listening and speaking course that is about listening and speaking strategies. Okay, what are the listening and speaking strategies? Listening and speaking strategies, ways that are used to understand and grow spoken language and to help comprehend and construct spoken language. Okay, what is the means? The speaking and listening strategies are ways that are used to understand and build a spoken language. And effective speakers and listeners use a wide range of strategies to help them comprehend and also construct a spoken language. And therefore, students need to be explicitly told how to select and use a wide range of strategies when speaking and listening, and also to understand that their use of the strategies will be determined by context, text form, and also audience. Okay, of all the exciting strategies, some strategies will be more appropriate to use during speaking and listening, but the others are more suited to reflection and review activity. For example, speaker using the determining important strategy before speaking to determine how much detail a particular audience will need to understand the message. And with this strategy, we as speakers can focus on the main points so that the audience can clearly understand the message that we are going to convey. And also, listeners might use this strategy prior to listening activity to determine which information to closely attend to and retain, and also the listening for reflecting on the message. Okay, guys, please look at the PPT slide. The following is a list of the main speaking and listening strategies. There are predicting, self-talk, self-questioning, visualizing and creating images, code switching, determining importance, paraphrasing and summarizing, connecting, comparing and contrasting, inferring, synthesizing, and the last is self-monitoring and self-correction. Okay, let's discuss one by one. The first strategy is predicting. Predicting. In the PPT, I'll write predicting activate your knowledge of a context or topic. Predicting can help students to activate their prior knowledge of a context or topic, and also allowing them to combine what they know before with the new information. And prediction will be based on a student's familiarity. It's about students' familiarity with the topic and context, and also how familiar they are with the speakers or audience. We can say that the prediction is about what someone thinks will happen, and it will use their own personal experience to anticipate what is going to happen. For example, a speaker has to predict the type of spoken text that will be appropriate to a particular purpose, audience, and also situation. And during listening, effective listeners adjust and refine their initial predictions about the speaker's message as they receive information and make new connections. Okay, that is about predicting. The next topic is self-talk. Okay, what is self-talk? Effective speakers and listeners continually use self-talk as a part of their thinking process, and it is the running commentary that goes on inside our head, and usually without any verbalization. In other words, Self-talk is an activity that talking to yourself about what are going to do, and it's about how we make sense of our thinking and reflecting on our actions. By using this strategy, we can help students to build their understanding of strong links between thinking and action. Okay. The next strategy is self-questioning. Effective speakers and listeners also continually think and ask a wide range of questions before, during, and after speaking and listening activity. They use these questions to help them comprehend and also making meaning. While self-talk is more like synchronizing between our thoughts and our actions, this self-questioning has a more specific meaning, such as reflecting on how deeply we understand a topic, content, or important message. By asking ourselves a question that related to the topic, content, or some important message. And it is vital to developing student ability to understand and make meaning in their learning. So by asking questions, it can help students to develop a deeper understanding of what they are talking about or what they are listening to. Okay, that is self-questioning. Next is visualizing and creating images strategy. Visualizing and creating images. Effective speakers and listeners use all of their sense to continually create mental images. By creating mental images, we can promote the use of our prior knowledge, and it can improve the ability to make predictions, draw inferences, interpret information, remember details, and also assist with overall comprehension and memory. This strategy is important to give students the opportunity to share their images and to talk about how creating images can help them to gain a better understanding. Okay, that is all about visualizing and creating images. The fifth strategy is code switching. Code switching is the term used to describe the process a speaker used to alternate between one or more languages. And it's not only to second language user, but code switching also occurs in every language. And this code switching within a language is also referred to as style shifting. In most people's lives, code switching is necessary. We use different forms of expression depending on who we are speaking to and where we are speaking to them. For example, a young adult would not use the same word or phrases when speaking to their friends in an informal atmosphere as they would when speaking to a superior, such as an elder, teacher, advisor, or supervisor. Similarly, when students talk to their peers, it will be different when they talk to their teachers or their parents. Okay. Next is determining importance. For this strategies, I have mentioned this strategies before, yeah. So I will just add a little explanation about determining importance. Determining importance means the focus on what's most important in the text or speech, so that audience can develop a deeper meaning and overall understanding of the speech. And in speaking and listening, determining importance includes selecting the appropriate context, text form, and convention to suit the intended purpose and audience. And it includes selecting which information to retain in short or long-term memory and which information to respond to. So, determining importance is a strategy that used to choose or distinguish between what information is most important versus what information is interesting but not necessary to understand. Okay, the next strategy is paraphrasing and summarizing. I think the strategy or continuation of the determining important strategy, I think all speakers and listeners have determined the main points. It will be better if they can paraphrase and summarize the points so that it will be more organized. So, what are paraphrasing and summarizing? Paraphrasing is the strategy speakers and listeners use to restate a spoken text in a way that retains the sense of meaning and provides clarification for understanding. While paraphrasing requires a speaker or listener to restate the essence of the original text in a more concise form. We can conclude that summarizing is important as it helps the listeners be aware of what they are being told. Okay, the next strategy is connecting. Connection strategies divided by Hartini and Zimmerman into three parts. There are text-to-self connections, text-to-text connections, and the last is text-to-world connections. Okay, I will explain it one by one. First is text-to-self connections. Text-to-self connections involve students thinking about their own life and connecting their own personal experience to a new information. It's like we relating a topic to the experience that we have, which are related to the topic. And text-to-self connections are often emotionally based by making an emotional connection to something, it will help us to remember something. The second is text-to-text connection. Text-to-text connection involves students thinking about oral text they have previously composed or understood. That means students make connection between one or two sentences with other sentences and one paragraph with the other paragraph. They might make connections to other themes, styles, or organizations, structures, characters, or content. And the last is text-to-world connections. Text-to-world connections involve students thinking about what they know about the world outside of their personal experience and also outside their family and their community. These connections are often bigger idea connections and link students' understanding to something uh, broader in the broader world. We can conclude that connection strategy is important to help students refine and limit their connection to those that help them to understand and make meaning. And so modeling connection to understand and modeling connection to students and discussing them can help students learn about how making a relevant connection leads to understanding. Okay, the next is comparing and contrasting. As students make connection to their prior knowledge, they also begin to make comparisons with the new information they are receiving. When students make comparisons, they will begin by asking questions such as, how is this information different to what I have heard before? Or how is it different from what I already believe about this issue? Or why is their opinion different to mine? So that students are expected to be able to recognize and describe similarities and differences between ideas, which is an important skill for students to learn. The next is inferring strategy. What is inferring strategy? Inferring is a strategy used by effective speakers and listeners as they take meaning from spoken text, then add their own ideas to make inferences. During the process of In pairing, students make predictions, draw conclusions, and also make judgments to create their own interpretation. By making inferences, it allows students to make assumptions about matters that were not actually said on the text, and assumptions can be made by using acoustic, vocal, or lexical information within the text to guess the meaning of unfamiliar language items or to fill in the missing information, such as a student may be able to infer the meaning of spoken text by the tone and volume of the speaker voice. It's like, did the speaker deliver a sad message or a happy message? And it will be seen from the tone of speaker's voice. Okay, the second strategy is synthesizing. When composing and understanding text, effective speakers and listeners use synthesis to gather information from various sources and then structure it. They collect, compile, or combine various information from various sources into a single entity while maintaining it. And the strategy allows students to pull together or detail information that they have heard. And also during the synthesis process, students may be connecting, comparing, determining importance, ask questions, and also creating images. So for example, a student may retell about what they have heard as a way of synthesizing information. Okay, let's go to the last strategy is about self-monitoring and self-correction. What is self-monitoring and self-correction? Effective speakers and listeners continually reflect on what they are saying and hearing, confirm their understanding. They will do self-monitoring and self-correction regarding to the knowledge that they have. And if understanding breaks down, they will use repair strategies to refine or clarify meaning. For example, repeating, recasting, paraphrasing, summarizing, and also asking questions or self-questioning. The ability to monitor or on understanding to be able to make the appropriate corrections if understanding sufficient is quite complex and relies on the effective use of the strategy models. Okay, I think that's enough for today, and I think that is all from my explanation. See you next time. Sorry for the mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.